What is up, everybody? All my kings, men and women, welcome back to the channel. And today's discussion video is going to be a little bit different. This is more so of a what if scenario. And as you guys already know, those have pretty much been all the rave the last, 2 years, I believe. And as you guys read by the title of this video, I basically had a what if scenario in my head that's actually been going on since 2023. Yeah. And I'm pretty sure everybody is familiar with the TV show The Fairly Odd Parents. And one of the episodes that was one of my personal favorites, mainly because of how funny and ridiculous it was Beach Bummed. And if anybody who has seen that episode probably already know how the plot of the episode goes. Timmy wishes to become the strongest guy on the beach, and as the episode goes on, the wish continuously bites him in the backside. Now, guys, what I wanted to talk about, what I believe would probably happen if Timmy could not get back to normal. Like, what if the wish itself was permanent and he could never undo it? My first thought of how it would happen is that due to him getting so much stronger as time goes on, he becomes so powerful that no amount of magic is able to reverse it. Like, not his fairies, not Jorgen, not anybody. And he pretty much would have to continuously live out the rest of his days as a absolute giant. A very muscle-bound giant at that. The way I could see, instead of the episode concluding with him getting back to normal and also having to deal with the seaweed monster army, would be that he would just have to accept that this is his new life right now. And of course, he would also have to confront his parents about this when they're about to go home. Obviously, being the type of people that Timmy's parents are, the first thing they're going to do is question him. And also, given how idiotic they are, and considering Timmy is such a good liar, he would probably just tell them that he was working out super hard the entire time they were there. And his parents, being who they are, as I said, would probably just shrug their shoulders and just accept it, and they would probably end up going home. But obviously, due to Timmy's massive size, he can't fit in the car, so he would obviously have to walk home. Now, what would happen afterwards? Well, guys, obviously with Timmy being now a muscle-bound giant, the things that he would usually be able to do as a regular-sized kid, he would no longer be able to do. The fun things that he would be able to do would be no fun anymore, like being able to play with his friends, going to the places he likes to hang out at, going to school. Then again, he probably wouldn't care about that. And not to mention, the biggest thing that I definitely think would be a bump in the road for him with him dealing with Tootie. Now, guys, if you recall in the earlier seasons of The Fairly Odd Parents, Tootie was absolutely infatuated with Timmy to the point that it definitely gave off stalker vibes. Like, I understand that Tootie was a kid, but you guys cannot tell me that the way she was acting gave off pure stalker vibes. Like, if a girl like that was coming after me like that, especially knowing how young we were, I probably would feel very creeped out, and I might even phone the police. I'm not lying. But anyway, imagine how much more infatuated she would be with Timmy at that point if she were to see the giant size that he had grown to. Like, he really would never be able to get rid of her. And another thing that I feel like would actually come as a benefit instead of a downside would be how he would be able to deal with Vicky, because you guys already know that before then, and even till now, Vicky has pretty much been tormenting Timmy ever since the first season. But now, considering with his new size, imagine his parents leaving him with Vicky. Vicky sees him, and she would most undoubtedly be completely dumbfounded and maybe even scared. Now, I know that Timmy, in his right mind, would never hit a girl, but then again, considering that Vicky acts like an absolute demon, I feel like he probably would take the chance at putting her in her place. Therefore, most definitely never having to deal with her again. But then again, considering the vengeful person that Vicky often is, if she ever ends up healing from the injuries that she'll end up sustaining from Timmy, there's a chance that she might possibly end up coming back for revenge. But then again, that still may not end well for her. And also, guys, when we talk about the pros and cons of this, obviously, as I already stated, Timmy would never be able to live a normal life like this. But the pros that I definitely will say, and the most obvious, would be his fairies, Cosmo and Wanda. Like, obviously, considering that they care so much more about him than his own parents do, they would obviously do everything in their power to try to make his life a bit more tolerable now that he can never get back to normal. Like, maybe wish him certain clothes that'll probably fit him considering how big he is now, and or possibly make him a giant sized bed so that way he wouldn't have to worry about being so cold at night, since obviously he can't fit inside of his own house anymore. And also, not to mention being able to pretty much wish him anything that would make him happy, since most definitely over time, he would probably start to get upset, maybe even depressed at the idea that he can no longer do the things that he would normally be able to do as a regular sized kid. And as for what would happen onwards throughout the rest of the show, up until season 10, I really can't tell you guys for sure because there are so many other scenarios as to how that would coincide with that, especially if you add characters like Sparky and Chloe into the mix. That could go all kinds of ways. But I really just wanted to focus on what would happen afterwards that particular episode. And given all that, I could confidently say that it would be 50-50. Like, 50% of the time, Timmy would probably be miserable at the fact that not only that he wouldn't be able to do the things he would normally do as a regular kid, but he would also have to consistently worry about the possibility of something or someone else, happening upon him, and then he just gets even bigger and stronger. Not to mention the fact of having to be careful not to overuse his strength, and he ends up, hurting someone or ends up damaging something like the city or his own home or just anything in particular. And overall, I really do think that would actually be a very miserable time. But then again, considering that he has his fairy godparents, I feel like over time they would probably do their best to be there for him, support him, and to make his life much more tolerable for him in the end. But yeah, guys, that's really all I wanted to talk about. I didn't want to drag this on any more than it needed to be. This was just really a what-if scenario that I really had been thinking about for a long time, and I figured, why don't I express it through YouTube? But yeah, anyway, guys, thanks again for watching this video. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Don't forget, I also have a Twitter and Instagram account where I hardly ever post, but on Twitter, I at least post one thing a week. So be sure to check that out in the comment section down below, and I will see you guys in the next video.